Buying a home in Columbus? Don't fall into these 3 common traps that can cost you time, money, and peace of mind. By the way, I'm Dak, a realtor here in Columbus, Ohio, and today I'm breaking down the biggest mistakes that home buyers make and how to avoid them. So let's get into it. First, skipping the home inspection. Let me ask you this. Would you buy a car without popping the hood or taking it for a test drive? Probably not, right? So why would you skip a home inspection? It might seem like a shortcut to save money on the front end, but it could cost you tens of thousands of dollars later. Let me show you how to avoid that kind of stress. About a year ago, I had the opportunity to work with a client and they found this beautiful home. It looked flawless. But when we brought an inspector in, the inspector found $15,000 worth of repairs in the plumbing. This was all hidden under the surface. Thankfully, we caught it within the inspection period and had a request to remedy within our contract. Through that, we were able to negotiate with the seller, and it saved my client a massive headache. That's why inspections aren't just important, but they're essential. Why inspections matter? Think of it like a checkup for your future home. It's your chance to uncover any surprises before you sign on the dotted line. Things like leaky roofs, cracks in the foundation, or outdated wiring. Issues that may not be as obvious as you walk through or show the property. Catching these early isn't just about saving money, but it's about peace of mind. You don't want your dream home to turn into a DIY nightmare the moment you move in. Understand, not all inspectors are created equal. You want someone licensed, experienced, and thorough. Ask your realtor for recommendations. People like me work with inspectors all the time. Also, make sure you check online reviews. A good inspector will give you a detailed report breaking down what's urgent as well as what's regular upkeep. Now keep in mind, that report is your blueprint for negotiating repairs or deciding if that home is still the right fit for you. Quite honestly, I feel like I've seen it all. Electrical systems from the 1970s that aren't up to code, HVAC systems that are one winter away from breaking down, and even drainage issues that can lead to basement flooding. These aren't always deal breakers, but understanding these up front give you power. The power to negotiate, the power to adjust your budget, or the power to walk away. Okay, now that you understand that skipping a home inspection is a gamble that you don't want to take, let's talk about another mistake that could cost you big time. Overbidding in a competitive market. Trust me, you'll want to hear this one. Here's a question. Do you think overbidding guarantees you the home? It might, but at what cost? Overbidding can leave you stretched thin financially. And honestly, there's a smarter way to navigate a competitive market. Let's break it down so you don't pay more than you should. I've seen it happen too many times. In just the last 6 months, I've seen buyers overbid by over $20,000 thinking it was their golden ticket to purchasing the home. But when the appraisal came back lower, that buyer was on the hook to cover the gap. Or worse, they lost the deal. That extra cost was completely avoidable with the right strategy. Look, I get it. When you fall in love with a home, emotions run high. And it's tempting to throw out a big number to seal the deal. But here's the problem. If the appraisal comes up lower than your offer, your lender won't cover the difference. That means you're paying that extra amount out of pocket or renegotiating, which could put the whole deal at risk. It's a high stakes gamble and you deserve better than that. When I work with buyers, I don't just toss numbers around. I dig deep into the data. Data such as recent sales within the neighborhood, the home's features, and how it stacks up against similar properties. Together, we craft an offer that's competitive, but realistic. That way, you're not just throwing money at the problem. You're making a smart investment. Here's a little known trick. Use an escalation clause. It's like telling a seller, I'm willing to pay X more than the next highest offer, but only up to a certain limit. This keeps you competitive without overcommitting financially. It's a strategic move that can give you an edge without blowing your budget. Overbidding might seem like the fast track to home ownership, but it's not always the smartest play. Now let's move on to another common mistake that people don't understand can put you behind the 8 ball before you even get started. Neglecting getting pre-approved before you're ready to purchase. Picture this. You find your dream home, the perfect place. But when you're ready to make an offer, someone beats you to it because they're pre-approved and you're not. It's heartbreaking, right? Let's make sure that doesn't happen to you. Too many times I've been on the listing side and I've seen an offer be presented with no pre-approval. And when an offer is presented with no pre-approval, the seller is less apt to take that offer seriously. In some instances, it can be a race against time and cost you the home. In most cases, especially a competitive market like Columbus, a winning offer, you want to have that pre-approval handy. Okay, so here's the deal. Pre-qualification versus pre-approval. Some think they're the same. In all actuality, they're not. A pre-qualification is like guessing how much house you can afford. It's quick, but not always reliable. A pre-approval, on the other hand, it's the real deal. A lender dives into your finances, checks your credit, and gives you a firm number. Sellers love seeing pre-approved buyers because it lets them know you're serious and you're ready to go. Think of a pre-approval as your golden ticket to the home buying game. It makes your offer stronger because the sellers know you've got your financing lined up. It also speeds up the closing process and gives you a crystal clear idea of what you can afford. So you're not wasting time on homes that are outside of your budget. Getting pre-approved is much simpler than most think. Start by gathering your financial documents, pay stubs, tax returns, and bank statements. Then choose a lender. It could be your bank or mortgage broker that you trust. If you don't have someone in mind, feel free to reach out, as I would be happy to connect you with someone. Once you apply, they'll review your information, and within a few days, you'll have your pre-approval letter in hand. Easy, right? Now that you know how to avoid the heartbreak of falling in love with a home that you can't buy, you're already ahead of the game. But there's so much more to learn. Subscribe for insider tips that'll help you save time, money, and stress throughout your home buying journey. I greatly appreciate you watching. If this video helped you, give it a thumbs up and share it with someone you think it could add value to. Have questions or need advice? Drop them in the comments. I'm here to help. And if you're ready to take the next steps in your home buying journey, let's connect. I'd be honored to help you find the perfect place to call home.